All right, so now we at the Just Talking segment. I've been waiting for this one for a really long time. We got Marcus Hawkins in the studio, and if you guys don't have him on social media, you better go follow it right about now. I mean, it's Marcus Real Funny.
Marcus Real Funny.
You can find him everywhere, right? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I mean, go out there and look at this cat is funny. He's up and coming. He's huge. You got some big shows happening that I hear.
Yeah, tonight we're going to be at the Ice House, 10 o'clock, stage 2. And then on the 18th, we're going to be at Chocolate Sundays for First Impressions at
That's
the Laugh
exciting, man. Like,
Yes,
that is
Chocolate
huge.
Sundays? Oh, yeah.
Chocolate Sundays like the hottest show in LA, man.
Ooh,
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, Chocolate Sundays, for one, you never know who's going to show up. Last week or 2 weeks ago, they had Beyonce and Jay-Z was just in the audience. So just the whole part of it.
You had B in the audience.
Yeah, everybody had to turn their cameras and stuff off, but just respect their wishes. So it's all good, but still, just to be able to perform in front of people like that, like you just never know. That could be my chance. So I've been waiting for this show for a cool minute. I booked it like 18 months ago. That's how long.
Wow.
That's how long.
18 months.
18 months has been the wait list. And it's like a joke inside of comedy, like waiting on first impressions. And it got people like a skeleton memes and stuff like that. So it's just...
I think that's actually an interesting point because, I mean, I might as well just jump right on into it. We're talking about comedy right now, especially like the state of mind. And I thought you brought up something kind of interesting, especially something I was going to bring up because it's like, you know, you're talking about how you got Beyonce and Jay-Z when they're coming on in, right? And, you know, keep cell phones down. You know what I'm saying? When they're in the room, cell phones down. I mean, we got comedians out there right now to this day. I mean, Dave Chappelle was out there known for this no cell phone policy. Yeah. And a lot of this has been happening is because people are too sensitive. You know, we got this little PC culture where they're coming on in where they can't, you know, people like Dave Chappelle, which I'm surprised. The Dave Chappelle from Comedy Central who had no filter, no bars, picked on everything, which I loved. Now he's feeling like he's shuttered back in.
I feel like the reason Dave do it with the phone is just so his content don't get out there.
That's what I thought.
I feel like Dave truly
don't
give a damn about what he say because he's like true to himself and he knows his art and he knows his craft. So he doesn't care, but it's just about his content getting out before he wants it out. Like if I got a phone and I record you real quick, I could go home and practice that joke. Other people ain't seen that.
Right.
Then I could go to somewhere and just start hitting with your stuff like, oh, Marcus is hilarious. But at the same time, it's Chris's stuff. Yeah. And I stole from Chris from a whole nother show. So that's another reason to lock up your content. Like, hey, you gonna come see me? I don't need no thieves around.
See, that's kind of interesting because the way I kind of see it, it's like, are they kind of like testing out Netflix, you know, jokes, or like going for the improv? Or I mean, one of the oldest incidents is like back in the day with Joe Rogan when he's calling out Carlos Mencia.
That's one of my favorites.
You know what I'm saying?
I missed that.
You never saw that?
No.
This was the downfall of Carlos Mencia.
What happened?
Remember he had his hot show on Comedy Central and he was doing big. He was performing at the Laugh Factory. Am I right? I mean,
this all happened at the Laugh Factory.
All of it.
So what happened?
Joe Rogan,
Joe basically exposed him. Feels like Joe went on stage while Carlos was on stage and told him like, "Why you always stealing our jokes?"
He stole jokes from multiple comedians.
Comics. And it's
no way.
And it's like, really, you know, comics, we hang out after the show. We got our little cliques and stuff. So when you group up and we all talking and chit chat, and then people come on story like, hey, such and such steal your joke. Yeah, he stole mine too. Like some comics, other comics don't tell your good stuff around.
Whoa, and then he
Isn't that interesting?
I wondered where he went. I had totally missed like the whole
drama.
He's
been out. It's been crazy. I mean, I used to love the guy.
What's crazy, I seen an interview and Joe Rogan was talking about that a couple weeks ago, and he was like, he kind of regret that he did it in a certain way that he did, because a lot of people got mad at Joe Rogan for doing that.
Really?
Like the agency and stuff that represented him, they was like, we can't represent you no more because what Joe Rogan did. But like Joe Rogan said, it's like, you're stealing from us, man.
Yeah,
like,
and that should be called out.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing. Well, it's funny because I, as an actor, I was like, I'm going to be a stand-up comedian too. So I went to some classes. Well, I didn't realize how hard it is to be a comedian because you can't steal anything.
You can't.
So I was
cannot teach comedy.
Stuff, and I was like, oh, I can take that joke. And they're like, you have to make up your own stuff. And I'm like, but I'm an actor. I steal things and like make it my own.
But you know, it drives me nuts because like you see those masterclass.coms. I mean, those things do look cool.
Yeah.
But I see the one with Steve Martin teaches comedy. I love you to death, man, but stick to the banjo. Like, you cannot teach comedy. I mean, you are one of the greatest, but you just can't do it. You or Martin Short.
I feel like comedy is one of those things you neither got it or you don't. It's like being a leader. You can't teach somebody to be a leader. People choose to follow those leaders. So like, I choose to find you funny or not. So it's like you got it or you don't. And when you force it, it's like,
exactly.
Stop.
Like a lot of the time when I'm usually like not trying to be funny, I'm funny.
Hilarious.
And then when, you know what I'm saying? And then when I try to be funny, it's like, Chris, just stop.
But you know why you funny when you not trying to be funny? Because it's true. You just being real, and people see that, and real recognize real. It's like magic at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's
so
like
simple.
when
It's
you know
like a
when,
pumpkin spice latte. It just happens.
it's like a hashtag basic white girl.
That's
it just happens.
Speaking my language,
happens.
Marcus. You're speaking my language.
So that's one thing I feel like when I got into this, it like drew my niche because I come from like a talented family. All my cousins do something. I got cousins that play basketball. I got cousins that play instruments, cousins that act. And I used to always be in the back like, let me try basketball. Like, nah, I'm not good at this.
You're like,
You're a little short for basketball, I hate to tell you.
I'm like, I can't act that good
little
either.
short. What was that guy from the Charlotte Hornets?
Oh, Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah, you know what he's
Size
saying?
ain't nothing.
Come on, we got Isaiah Thomas too. You
Yeah.
can't be bagging on them like that.
It's all about if your jumper wet. That's all that it is.
I'd be that mom. I'm like, I'm sorry, honey. You're just a
see.
little too short.
See,
to be
we
something.
inspired the short black
Exactly.
man like him, and white man can't
Exactly.
jump. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we
Basic
did
white
it.
woman holding us back. Sorry, but I'm gonna write this 2-page status on why you're not tall enough to play basketball.
Exactly,
And, like,
right?
don't have your feelings
let's
hurt.
do a meme too while we're at it, you know, and we'll just throw it on a go. You know, it doesn't have to
Man.
mean anything.
All right. So you wanted to be a basketball player and actor.
Yeah, and going into that, I was just like, nah. But one thing I always knew was I was funny. Like people always be like, Marcus,
Yeah.
you silly. Marcus, you funny. And then,
Yeah.
like growing up in church, I always had a microphone in my hand and always being in front of a crowd. But I had to like read stuff out of the Bible or like do something positive really in front of people. I couldn't really say what was on my mind in church. It was
Before I
like,
do my
in
joke,
church.
Man.
I put my right hand on my Bible.
So when I got introduced to the stage and I got up on stage, like holding the mic and the stage presence wasn't nothing. That came natural. But just like creating the content and things like that, that's when I had to like dig into my mind and just let people in. And I was like, yo, this is it. I love it. Like my first time on stage, I ultimately bombed. Like, oh, I'm terrible. But then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm getting back on stage next
Nice.
week. And
Yeah.
you just keep going and going. And then you get to the point where you become like a blacksmith sharpening your sword, man. When you get up on stage, it's like, I'm just sharpening this sword. So when I do got to use it to slay a crowd, I'm ready.
Oh, I love
Ooh,
that
I
imagery.
like that.
Ooh.
We got to keep that. You know, we just came up with another analogy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm basically the tick.
And I'm the moth. Okay, if
And you're the-
anybody this is the older millennial. Go ahead.
Oh, I know all about
you
the
know
tick.
them? Okay,
Yeah.
so you know the tick and the moth. So we always say like he's the Howard and I'm his Robin, or Howard Stern. But we're also like a little funnier than like Howard and Robin can be because they can.
We like to think we are.
Okay, maybe we are. Maybe a little inflated ego. I think they're phenomenal, right? I mean, they're their own thing. But I was like, we're also like Tick and Moth, the superheroes, and
Not the newer one.
Yeah,
No,
the
no,
cartoon.
no, the cartoon,
is
right?
way better.
Yeah.
I'm
Trust
definitely
me.
Moth. He's the Tick, and our battle cry is spoon.
That's what's up. See? That's what's up. You're on the same page and you know.
Exactly.
And then it's even better because you guys got a team. And when you got a team,
Yeah.
both people do their job. I tell everybody, together, everyone achieves more. That's the whole
True.
team stand
Ain't that
for
the
it.
truth,
So,
man?
Always positive. I love seeing people who are coming up in the industry. It's so fascinating as an artist how much other artists get, jealous or hurt and try
Oh,
and put down. And I'm
man.
like, man, there's so
Right.
much content out there. We don't have to only hold on to what we have, but support and keep cheerleading other artists out there.
Like I was saying before we came in, I'm crazy enough to believe like whatever you put in the universe, that's what you're going to get out. So
Yeah.
if I'm out here preaching hate and just dreadful stuff, guess what's coming back my way? Hate, dreadful stuff, like nothing of just prosperity. I'm always speaking positive on somebody. Like I always like talking to other artists. Like if I see somebody that paints, I'm asking them, how long did it take you to paint that? Like, wow, how did you get that vision in your head? Like I'm picking his brain because he's an artist just like me.
Yeah.
People come to me and be like, how do you come up with your jokes? How do you do this? How do you do that? And I appreciate that because it's like, I
Does-
want to know too.
Does
Right.
anybody ever say like, "Hey, I got a good joke for you"?
All the time.
Yeah, right. And
Oh,
you're like,
'cause I have
oh
a-
my gosh,
I have a
just
really
saw
good
that.
joke for you.
Ooh, I like it. Ooh,
Man,
you got a
it's-
joke?
No, I was just kidding.
Okay, but it's interesting. You talk about jokes, and my biggest thing is like, I guess you kind of touched a little bit on religion, right? And some people feel like in comedy, religion's, it's a touchy place, man. I don't know. If you don't know that religion, back off, Marcus.
To be honest, there's nothing untouchable in comedy. There's nothing untouchable.
But there's no topic at all that you feel. Is there? You can tackle everything, or do you feel like there's a topic?
It's always a time and place for everything. Like I said, it's always too soon for rape jokes. Don't just pop out there with rape jokes. You like,
it's always too soon for.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Louis C.K., chill out, man.
That is the opening of a segment.
It's
always too soon for rape jokes.
Always. You can't just hit somebody with a rape joke because somebody like, come on, like, golly, I didn't come here for that. I'm still eating my buffalo wings. Like,
yeah, they're
I
like,
haven't even had my second drink yet.
Damn, where are my napkins?
You're already in the rape jokes. Like some stuff is like, oh, man.
And I feel so wrong, like, snapping my fingers to a rape joke.
But just to finish the answer on that, like, the main thing, nothing's really off topic, is if you done your research and you know what you're talking about, can't nobody say nothing. But when you just up there talking out your you know what, and it's like, oh, that's not true, that's not right, then that's when people like, nah, you shouldn't do it. But if you could back it up, like Chris Rock when he talks politics, the way he put the twist on it and everything is perfect, just like with D.L. Hughley.
Yeah.
If you educate yourself in it, and once you go up there, can't nobody tell you no. It's like reciting the alphabet. Can't nobody say no. F doesn't come after E. Like, you can't tell me that. I've been doing this forever. So.
Well, I think one of the most interesting stories that's been given a lot of backlash towards SNL, for example. I mean, I'm sure you already heard about this with the Pete Davidson, saying, I forgot what exactly he said, but it was towards that war veteran over in Afghanistan who lost an eye, and then basically referenced him. He looks like a 1980s porno star.
I didn't see that one.
You didn't see that one?
Yeah, he basically went on. I was watching the skit, and it wasn't. To me, I think the problem is Pete Davidson isn't really that funny. In my opinion.
Sometimes that's how people get mad too. When you're not that funny, and then you say something like, "No."
And it was kind of a throwaway. Right. It wasn't like, "Here's my setup and my delivery," and you're like, "Okay, that was wrong but funny." It was a throwaway line of like, and he's like a 1980s porn. I think that's where it was like, wait.
It just seems very like unclassy. It's just dumb, especially when the week that we're about to go into midterms, what I'm saying? And then you're going to say something so tasteless like that. I mean,
and you're not funny with Ariana Grande anymore, so like you don't have any cool points.
Boy, bye.
That's why the most important thing in comedy is timing. It's not just timing with your joke, it's timing when you want to say something too. Timing is important in this craft. You just can't.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, like, I was kind of mentioning with you on the phone on Wednesday, before you even got on the show, and I was like saying, I felt like last year was the biggest downfall for comedy. And basically, one of the examples was the new Bill Burr special. Like, I'm the biggest fanatic of Bill Burr. I love it. I love F is for the Family. But then when he starts going up on that whole stand-up where he's like, if I was a dictator, and then he goes off on the whole Kanye West being a dictator. And he's like, if I was a dictator, I would just kill all the stupid people that go on cruise ships, and I would bomb them all. And I'm like, is this even funny?
Exactly.
I'm like, hey, I want to go on a cruise ship. I still haven't done that yet, so I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I always tell my mom, I'm like, yeah, I just saw this stand-up and Bill Burr speaking the truth, but it's not funny to me,
Yeah.
Like, that's when it becomes like a fine line, like, when are we trying to laugh,
Like I said,
it's like dark comedy. Like, and sometimes we love that dark comedy. I'm a huge Tarantino fan. There's some dark stuff, like even The Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson is hilarious, especially when he's pulling out that Lincoln letter. I never laughed so hard.
When he was telling the dude how he killed his son that tried to kill him. Oh man,
I'm like, this is some dark, gritty, ugly stuff. But we giggle and we know it's wrong, but we still laugh to it.
There's a truth in it.
Yes, that's
the
whole thing. That's the root of comedy. It's the truth at the end of the day.
Yeah.
No matter how you say it or how you receive it, it's the truth. Like if there's a fat person in the room and I'm on stage like, hey, look at this fat such and such. Everybody's like, he is fat. Ha, ha, ha. See?
So what are you saying there? You said like the Nutty Professor?
Yeah, that movie Nutty Professor when Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, he's playing at the piano.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dave Chappelle on the piano. That is funny.
So, I always say like another thing with comedy is we're just saying what you're thinking. You might be thinking something, and then when I say you like, yo, I was just thinking that dude up there is fat. Like that's crazy. Like my last show, it was this dude sitting in the front row, and he had a creepy laugh. He would laugh like this, like, and when I got on stage, I told him, I was like, yo, you got one of those, like, the hills have eyes type laughs, dude. Like, you creeping me out. And everybody who was around him just started pointing and laughing. And y'all see them shaking their head like, yeah, his laugh is creepy. Like, I didn't want to say nothing, but that guy was so creepy.
You're like, please take it 2 steps back.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, is it a fine line to, like, cross into the audience? And, like, is it, like, okay to do that? Because I know Jeffrey Ross is really big on that. When I saw him, he did, and I loved it. Like, that was so funny seeing him call out like 20 to 25 people he does not even know.
We call that stage work. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, if I'm coming in, I want you to interact with me. It's just like when I grew up in church and my grandfather get up there to preach. If people ain't saying amen back, my grandfather like, well, we finna have a long service then. You know, because if y'all not agreeing with me and stuff, then what's going on? So I tell people, I'm not here to pick on you. If I ask you a question, just say yes or no. Participate with me.
Yeah.
But when you out there and we ask you something, you got your arms balled, then we finna tear yourself up. Like, yeah, you about to get it right now.
What do you do with hecklers? That's like to me the part that would freak me out.
Man, hecklers. I always tell people, my mom is my biggest heckler. My biggest heckler is my mom. I told my mom stop coming to my shows because while I'm performing, she'll be heckling me.
No way. She's banned.
Marcus, you know damn well you can't get a woman like that,
and that's
Marcus.
Exactly what she be doing. You don't be taking no trash out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, yo.
You don't pay no bills.
I'm like, I'm at work right now.
You still calling for mommy's money.
So I tell people, like, I can't say the stuff I could say to strangers to my mom, so my mom gets a pass. But any other hecklers, I destroy them right there.
Be like, I destroy my dad. I wouldn't do it to my mumsy.
Any heckler I get, I destroy.
Wouldn't even dare.
Because if you don't stop the heckler in time, they gonna steal your show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen.
And it happened to me before. I had let this lady distract me, and all my material just out my head. I'm trying to talk to this lady, ruined everything. So she won, and I'm like, never again.
Yeah.
Hecklers, I
Or
disrespect them to the fact I have to apologize after the show. That's how hard I go.
Oh, like one of your YouTube videos I was cracking up the most is like you tackled somebody, not tackled literally, but like you literally went up, approached somebody that had a phone in the audience, and they kept using the phone.
Yeah.
And is that something you feed? Because I hear you say this is stage work.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I'm
like if you got your phone out, for one, I know you're not paying attention.
Right.
Now, it's like I become a
What
teacher
if
now.
I'm trying to finish that 2-page status? I'm like, Marcus Hawkins, he's so hot, he's so cute, he's so poppin', we in the ice house.
It's like being in class when like the teacher catch you not paying attention.
Yeah, right.
The teachers put you on blast. Chris, what you over there writing? Stand up and read that note.
Yeah.
So if you got your phone out, now you become stage work to me now. So what's your name? How are you doing?
Right.
Okay, you're part of the show now. Since you don't want to pay attention, put you on blast. Now that phone's in your pocket and you're listening now.
Right.
So,
You better get a zip tie it. Does that
Yeah,
even
I'm not
you can't even
pulling out
zip
my-
tie a smartphone. That was just dumb.
No, they got those little
you
pouches.
can zip tie the flip phone.
They like
Your burner phone.
at the
Zip-tie
Chappelle show, they
reference.
got these little pouches that you put your phone in and you zip it up, and it don't come unzipped into the end of the
Yeah.
show.
No
That's
way.
what I was kind of touching on before. It's like it's totally
amazing.
crazy. I
So
mean,
when you come in, you take your
Yeah.
phone, you put it inside a little pouch, and you zip it up, and then I guess technology nowadays, the zipper don't unlock
Dude,
until
that's
the
crazy.
show's
well,
over.
that's what the band Tool has been doing. I'm not Tool. I like a perfect circle.
Yes.
They're doing it. Maynard doesn't want anybody who's
Danzig
walking.
did that.
Yes,
Danzig
you're right,
came
for
out, it was
their,
a huge
reunion
thing.
show.
Yeah, and I was wondering, like, how do you keep like this many people not pulling their phone out, and now?
But it's
Yeah.
not the
Zip pouch.
same as like in comedy where they're worried about people stealing their content. And this is like,
And then-
dude, we're just back.
Another thing that I noticed, I went to this big concert, and I was like, I've been where the venue was. I had service there all the time before on my cell phone. But when this venue was there, they had something in
It
the
blocks
air.
it.
Nothing, no bars, no nothing. I'm like, this
In
is
that
great.
pouch?
And I wasn't even in the pouch. My phone was out, but I had no service.
That's
Yeah.
how I feel when I'm going to AMC theater. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this sorcery? Damn you,
You
Satan!
couldn't get no Wi-Fi, nothing. It's like your phone goes into roam, and I'm like, this is weird. They got like some little signal block thing going on or
Right?
something.
I can feel the wave pulses hitting my phone and my face.
So, because a lot of times people will record you on live, so I get to see you for free.
Yeah.
Nah, lock your phone up. I need that $15.
That's the truth. I mean, that is crazy. That's the truth. And you know what? This is coming to a close to just talking, but we got Marcus Hawkins that's sticking around for the segment Strike a Chord, which we love and dearly love. This has been great. If you haven't followed him on social media yet, this whole time while we've been talking, go follow him.
Yes.
It's the Marcus Real Funny.
That's right. Marcus Real Funny on Instagram. You can put me at Marcus Real Funny and find me on Twitter. Just type in Marcus Real Funny in your Google and follow everything that pops up.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't we just say
And
Google?
then see him tonight
Yes.
at the Ice House at
10
10
o'clock.
p.m.
Yeah, that's right.
Stage 2.
And even next week, we even got the Laugh Factory.
Chocolate Sundays, first
Ooh,
impression.
I'm gonna try to go to that. That sounds amazing.
Woo!
It is.
What's good, listeners? I'm the host of The Chris Collins Show. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button below and check us out at thechriscollinsshow.com. Peace.